Right. My stream got interrupted yesterday because the internet stopped working. No, man. Something. There we go. Oh. So there's a diff group that belongs to the Interim group. I should do that in our software to make people upgrade to the latest. Okay. I just want to take a screenshot of the yeah, just like that. That's good. I just want to explain. I just need to do a progress report again. I haven't done a progress report for the client in a while, so I just need to explain what I'm actually doing. So all those nodes under here were almost, well, not all of them, but nearly all of them were like flat structure. So I've been steadily converting them into hierarchy using, so these were entities, and then I converted them into elements, and then I used the elements to create groupings, and then I used my new parser to identify the types, of information, like whether it's a definition group. And then I used my parser. I added a parser actions thing. So so these are like rules for definitions, for example. It's just a silly example, yeah. But and yeah, so this is like parser rules. Root equals def group. Def group is an element. Def group 0 tab followed by kids. That was like to identify. I had things like CT within a flucker, blah 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 blah. CT means carriage return tab. You know that, and I used that to create. I implemented in my code here. I implemented actions. What I call filter actions. So if we go look at my log, the filter script log, the rules can include things like root equals vc.replace with dot, and now there's a C element. Okay, so when you apply the action, it replaces the matching element, the C element, with the oorgenome element. So yeah, that's just a little syntax that I added for having, and I'm going to use some more of them now to do more of this data conversion. We have now, this is a very large database. It's 206,000, more than 206,000 entries. And yeah, the number of definition groups that, the number of definition groups that are, or sense groupings, let's call them in, that I have to convert is about, of these type, the number of entries I have to convert still is about 113,000. Of which there are in them about 97,100, about exactly 97,155. There are probably more. There's probably a few I haven't caught. But yeah, there's basically 97,000 that I want to start converting now. I want to start converting some of these, because the content of them is still like, if we could look at a few, or if we use the use this thing, subtree stats. Alright, so 97,000. The subtree stats stuff is really cool. I just want to say I can't do this job. honestly, and I know I'm saying that because I wrote it, but this job would be impossible. XML to XML remodeling of a very large historical dictionary of Afrikaans. A project that started, I think, around 100 years ago, 90 to 100 years ago. So the earlier volumes aren't well structured in the editing software, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm fixing now. 200. Well, here's the dictionary. They were scanned, and someone else did a fair job converting them to a different interim format. A good job, actually, yeah, a good job, but under the circumstances. Now I'm taking what they did and so now we have the entire thing well marked up in a nice XML D2D. It's 206,000 entries. About that's text, but very complex hierarchical entries, etc. Now, so yeah, to facilitate this job I've been writing tools, including my new parser. And my new parser lets me identify things in the data, like you know, I can write little scripts to easily identify you know, certain structures in the data, like a VGL text underneath, you know, new line followed by a VGL text, you know, that is followed by different types of cross-reference labels is a cross-reference, you know, a certain type of cross-reference, and then I use my, on top of the parser filter I've developed, which is included in TLex. It's now part of TLex. It's a feature in TLex. It's a major new feature in TLex. So yeah, we can find. Okay, there are none here because wait, wrong. There should be. Yes, I thought so. Yeah. So this, for example, is just a simple little script that I ran there using this new feature that identifies like a new line followed by oorgenome, which means also called, basically in English, also called yeah, so it identifies these structures, and it knows, okay, that's a cross-reference, type of cross-reference. And then I've got filter actions, so I can apply the filter actions. So it shows me that there's 108. The filter means up to 206,000 entries, 187 entries were identified with that little structure. So it searched the 200 in a split second. It searched 206,000 entries for that specific little substructure. We know that, and the filter action dot replaces dot applies apply parser match actions. Boom, we'll convert that to a different type of element. So now we've converted what was basically non-semantically marked up, like it was just marked as a new line. Now, instead of being marked as a new line, it's actually semantically marked as a meaningful element that describes what it is, which is what you're supposed to do in XML. And the new line aspect is just a styling. The automatic style system generates the new line. So I've been writing dozens and dozens or hundreds of these little scripts now to attack and remodel, and I'm still working through them, the different parts of the data, because they need to be converted into the well-structured D2D, which looks more like this. Okay. Yeah. So this is the whole D2D is actually two D2Ds in one, because the newer data, the data that was created in the era of computerization is well structured. So this project has been going for 90 years, this dictionary project. So 4 or 5 of the volumes, it's a massive multi-volume thing, 4 or 5 of the volumes were well done, well computerized, and well semantically structured. And the older data that came was scanned from the physical volumes, because there weren't computers then. Basically, they literally weren't computers, so they had to scan the old volumes, and now that's in a different. That's in the different structure the unclean structure that I'm trying to convert. So yeah, these older entries are in this. Yeah, so this is a converted entry. This is the older structure, not converted into the newer structure. That's a very simple entry, so it doesn't count. Okay, well, it does count, but yeah, like that's a slightly more complex entry, and it's in the older structure, but I've been adding structure. So this VGLCR was added by my script by identifying new lines followed by VGL. So my little parser can do that. I wrote little things to say, okay, identify carriage return new line followed by VGL and generate this element. Now that element will have to be converted to the new VGL element. So this is like these are like interim elements that are just here for the process of conversion. The one starting with the underscore are interim elements I've created. So there's 3 DTDs in one right now. The old DTD, which ends with underscore, the new DTD, which have no underscores in names, and the element names that start with underscore are interim elements that I've created to facilitate the conversion. They take data, turn it into something else, which I then have to process further to turn them into the final elements they're supposed to be, which is what I'm finally getting to now. This is a huge dictionary. I don't know. It's probably about as big as the Oxford English Dictionary. I don't know. Or on a similar scale. It's really big. It's probably smaller than the Oxford English Dictionary, but it's not much. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably, I'd guess maybe, I don't know, I don't even want to guess. The big old historical one. This is their website. there's just some images of it. So it's 15 volumes, and the volumes are big. They're really big and thick, and dense. Lots of information packed in tiny font. So all the volumes stacked next to each other are about 1 meter wide. Yeah, so the data is all in TLex in our software, and I'm just busy like remodeling it now. That's what I'm doing. So it's a really complex job, and every time I run one of these scripts, I have to do before and after checks to make sure I haven't broken anything. So I've developed tools now over the past few months to help that, like to export a snapshot of how all the entries look, and then I can do that before and after, which takes long on 206,000 entries, and there's about 14 million XML DOM tree nodes in the database. So it's about 14 million nodes of data that have to be processed and exported. And every time I do a script, I must do before and after check. I'm really impressed with the speed of my parser. I spent some work optimizing it, but these little scripts just take 206,000 entries with 14 million nodes, and it's just like seconds, not even seconds. Boom, there's your result. Here's your 100 matching entries or whatever that match your script. Okay, so what I want to do is and this is a separate tool that shows me all the unique subtree forms. So of the def groups I have to convert 97,000. Okay, of the definition, the sense groups. These are sense groups, basically. You can call them sense groups. Of the sense groups, there's 20,000 unique subtree forms that I have to convert and identify, which I can only do with a parser, this parser approach. But this tool can find exact, cannot find exact forms in the DOM tree, and it gives counts, and it shows you the whole XML tree form, and the number, like there's 13,647 that are really simple. They just look like this. So this is low-hanging fruit. I want to write little rules now to start converting the low-hanging fruit here, the small and simple ones. So, things like this word cert, there needs to become the new word cert element, and definitions. So I need to start a script right now. Soon, I want to start a script running. Most of these I have to run at night for various reasons, but because this is a live database, there's a large team of editors working on it as well. So I have to do this job while a team of editors are also live editing the database, which also adds a little complexity to the job. Yeah, so these are simple def groups, and I just want to write a script that can start converting these simple cases. The def group is lm kids. Okay, etiquette. Right, I just have to think how to approach it. Let me skip the etiquettes for now. Start with a woordsoort. I want ones that have just a vlakke woordsoort and then a text that does not contain a colon. And that's really important because text not contains colon, because the colon inside a definition indicates the start of an example. So we have to look deeper than just the XML structure, because this could just be a full stop, then it means something else, or it could be a colon you know, there could be a colon in the middle, or and then it means something else, or there could be a close bracket, yeah, in which case I also probably don't want to be converting it, because it's, yeah, there's things that mean things. Okay, so my parser can do that. So kids equals like a woordsoort, and then definisieconf. Okay, and then definisieconf, we're going to say is text not contains colon. And a woordsoort def group woordsoort underscore. Let's add underscore to indicate we're matching the underscore ones. No. The failure woordsoort def group woordsoort lm woordsoort underscore. Okay, now that thing is this right, and that's optional. Let's make it compulsory for now. So I can take this now and just copy and paste it straight on the server in theory and say find nodes of this type matching the parser. Damn it, how annoying. Got a syntax error or something. This parser is so damn cool. I love it. I really love it. It's okay, we got to check the log for, obviously I made a mistake. Element not found etiquette, of course, underscore. Degree of woordsoort failure. It's not really failure, it's not accurate to say failure, but let's call it failure. Degree of woordsoort failure. Okay. Now, it's not accurate because it could have been created in TLex. It just means the failure DTD. Well, the failure doesn't have a DTD. It's failure derived DTD. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so boom, 14,000. Okay, I've written that little script. That little script now matches 14,149 cases in 9,337 entries. And these I want to now like start converting. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of which ones are converted. It's like I have to have 3 sets of scripts. So just for interest, I'm going to, it's a lot, but I'm going to just, not as an interest, also just as a cross-check, I'm going to use this integrates with a generic filter system in TLex, this parser, which is also wonderful. I can do things like subtract the results of one parser from the other, things like that. It's really cool. Okay, but yeah, generate a list of child XML values for matching nodes. Alright, so our 14,149 look like so. So I want to have a quick visual cross-check that we're not going to do something bad now. But these do look like just definitions, in fact. I'm putting them in a special element that I can identify. I'm not making them definitions just yet, but I've created an interim element to hold them, called a definition conv. So I'm going to put them in a sort of holding element that later we can check. And if we're happy, if there's not still further processing to be done on it, then that element can become a definition element. The reason for that is so that I can, because this is a live database, there's thousands of existing definition elements. So as soon as I start converting them to real definition elements, it becomes, if I still need to process them, it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder and more complicated to know, like if inside them, for example, like if some of them end with a reference and I need to identify that. If some of them end with see this entry at the end of the definition and I need to convert that into, yeah, like this one could be a reference and I need to write a rule that matches those and converts them, for example. I can't do that if they're all definitions already, but I can do it if they're in the temporary holding element, the definition conv. Alright, so that's the point of converting them first. These, I mean, you know, I'm just doing a quick visual cross check, yeah? Let's concentrate now. I'm happy I can convert these. But I'm wondering why there's no, why I'm not seeing woordsoorte. Did I take out the, huh? Where's the words? They should all have words. They should virtually all have words. Oh no, they won't. They'll actually rarely have words. Only a few of them will. Some of them should though. Maybe my words aren't matching rule is wrong. No, they do. They're all just sorted at the front. Okay. I'm happy these can be tagged. So my rule now is going to tag this shit as definitions or as definition conv elements. And it's going to convert the woordsoort to a new woordsoort type. Okay. Boom. So for example, alright, I'm going to have to just extend it to do that. So the definition group woordsoort replace with woordsoort. Do I want to do that yet? Or should I do that at the end? I think I should do that right at the end. Okay. Let's yeah, I don't know. I don't think it makes much difference actually. But the definition conv is important. Alright, so text not contains. Now in theory, the before and after output should look the same. But yeah, there may be small differences after a conversion, we'll see. Styling related or okay. So definition text not contains. I'm not sure that's working. And the way I can cross check that is to run the same rule, but with just match any text node there. Okay. And we should get a slightly higher number of results, like for 15,000. And then we can actually use as the subtract thing. And the difference should be the ones with colons. Okay. 14.1, 14.5. So there's a few hundred more. And now we can do, and it's very useful, to subtract the results of the previous parser from this one to see only the new differences. 188 cases that adding colon, I'm cross-checking that I'm not accidentally matching ones with colons. And indeed, these ones, look at that, it's beautiful. I can see literally the entries and it even highlights them. These are the ones with colons. So these are the ones with colons in them and I can check. should we convey them or not? And we probably actually should, because that should be part of the definition. That can be part of the definition. Some of them might. See, a colon has a special meaning. That's also part of the definition. Let's do this again. Filter match actions. Generate a list of child XML values for matches. So now I've got just the cases with colons in, and then you can decide if we want to match colons or not based on what we read here. So a bit of a horrible font. I want to be able to search for colons because I want to just see the stuff after the colons. Most of them, in fact all of them, basically look to me like that colon can be part of the definition in these cases. But that's an exception, because normally the colon in the definition looks like a lot of them. That's a bit of a weird style, huh? Meerbip colon. Should we or shouldn't we include these colons? I think we should include them, because they're just gonna, there's nothing I can do with them useful. Yeah, they don't indicate examples, really. So I'm going to include the colons. I'm going to run them all, the slightly broader script. And the other thing we should decide now if I'm going to include is the etiquette. You might as well. Okay. But I'm not going to convert them just yet. Okay. Etiquette folio. So the etiquette folio rule is a text node that's just an open bracket followed by the actual etiquette element followed by a text node that's a closed bracket. So the replacement will discard this, literally delete it when I do the replacement, which I'm not going to do now. I just want to convert the definition columns. Okay, and we're going to do it more broadly with the colons. Yeah, about dot is switch back to dot contains. So yeah, the definitions is going to be that text node. It's a text node. Right here. So what we're going to actually do here, there's nothing to replace. We actually have to add a new rule in the code, because, and if what I want to do is create a parent. Let's just check what our rules are. Pull rug, discard, merge previous, add child to previous, replace with. So we actually want to do something like insert parent definition. Alright, that looks weird. Definition insert. That's the rule. That's the action. So that tells us what we're going to do, and that's the parameter for the action. It tells us. So the whole rule name, that's the rule name, okay? And the rule name includes the actions. It's a bit weird, but anyway. And this doesn't exist yet. I'm about to create it. This is really cool. Okay, so let's create a new rule here. If insert parent request modify the document, like the entry, and Find element by name. So if a size greater than or equal to 3, because we need AS2, AS2.cstr, check if it's a valid element. AS2. So AS1 is the command. And if there is such an element, AS2, create it, insert, and move node match.p node. Move the given node to ourselves. Okay. So this we're going to insert match.p node. Yes, just like this. Get parent. Match.p node get parent. Insert child at the same index as ourselves. And then move this node as a child of that node. Which I actually want to do in 2 steps. I don't like the remove node does it. I want to use remove. I want to do add child last. Okay. Well, it's empty actually. No, so it's fine. Ah, whatever. That's fine. Remove node and then add child last. Okay, let's just double check everything. So find it, if there is such an element, allocate the element, match the p node get parent insert child at our index, and then remove ourselves and re-add ourselves as a child of the inserted parent. In this case, I also want to trim the spaces, but that I'll do afterwards later. Alright, the end reset changed. I could actually use the no, let's keep it simple for now. Okay. Now to test this, I want to test locally, but it's a bit tricky because this is a remote server and it's a 400 megabyte file. So I'm gonna TLex suite, TLex libs. Lex. So now I need to create a patch to patch the binary TLex on the server. Patch in. So we need to close it. This is a bit of a pain because if there's a bug, I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be because I'm concentrating and I'm awake. But if there's a bug, I have to go through the whole process again. So this, which one was it now? Patch in must just be pushed to the server. So now I need to look at this nonsense. Oh, but this is because I'm uploading. Yeah, maybe it'll improve in a, once it's done. Indeed. Okay. I just muted there to decrease the entropy of the stream encoding. It does help. When the audio stream is silent, it just gives a little extra bandwidth. Because, yeah, I'm just third world. Anyway, the internet. Right, so we got patch N, which I now want to extract on the server to I have to use a VM to MSTSC into the server. I'm just lucky it's working today. Normally it doesn't work at all. But the VPN from the VM on this Wi-Fi for some reason doesn't want to work. But today it's working. So the I'm a bit nervous to run the script because, but let's just do it on like 100 entries first. I must either, yeah, I must do it actually on a backup first and just see as well. So I must do two things: run it on the Lotus backup, and just run it maybe on 100 entries first. Yeah, so right, let's see what it's going to do, running it the full thing on the Lotus backup. So the script now looks like this, okay? And it should do this insert parent thing. It should insert definition elements above the text nodes. In other words, it should mark them up, it should tag them, which is lovely and amazing and wonderful. This is so cool. It's really cool stuff, okay? But yeah, element node, find matching parser. Right, so that's the live data. That 9,500, why does that sound low? Oh, that's why. There's 14,500 matches in 9,500 entries, okay. And it shows us what, in advance, what it wants to do if we look here in the tree view, which is also neat. So we can see it's matching that definition group, and it tells us preview sort of definition is going to insert parent definition above that node, above this text node, if we run the actions. It's flipping amazing stuff. This is amazing. It's really, really freaking cool. There's nothing else like this. There's really nothing else like this. I couldn't do this job without TLex, honestly. I've just been this parser, I love this parser. I wish everyone, it's such an advanced feature that I actually, you know, I wish my normal users could appreciate it. It's something almost no users will ever be able to use, because it's really just so advanced and esoteric. But I wish I could just force all my users to use it, so they could see how cool it is. Hey everybody, use this parser, please. Anyway, but it's I'm going to be using it extensively still. Like it's, you know, to do things like this. I found estels separated by commas, and then I'll use this insert parent, which I just created, to group each of these, these need to be grouped. So I can use that to identify and create the parents, the thing I just did, to help with the style group stuff as well. Okay, anyway, I'm just talking because I'm too nervous to actually run this thing. And this is now on the backup, so it's safe to actually run it. I'm going to just tag all in case we want. Yeah, and then on the tagged entries, we're going to run the parser match actions, and it'll probably crash. It didn't crash, and look what it did. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. Perfect. Okay, it converted that to a definition conv. Now we can do, we have to, and we will, and we can do another cross check once it's finished running on the, look, it's doing 500 entries per second. That's amazing. Anyway, it's going to take much longer on the real thing because it has to save it, but all with diffs. Okay, let's just show differences on a few. So look in the tree view what it did. It's beautiful, beautiful. It inserted definition conv parents. So I'm about to create 14,517 different. I'm about to tag 14,000. I'm so happy to get to this point. You know, there's been weeks of work to just get to this point. I'm going to tag another 14,517 elements as definitions. Alright, but I have to do all with diffs as a cross check. What this does is, as soon as it creates the entry, it creates a snapshot of the entry as it looked as it started editing it, okay? And this show differences, then compares how it currently looks to how it looked just as it started before it made the change. So this takes a little long. This takes a bit slow because it's nearly 10,000. Oh shit, there's 303. I was hoping there'd be 0. So now I have to go look and see what's going on. It's probably got to do with full stops. I thought so. I just knew it's going to be full stops. Okay, what's happening here is there's now a full stop where previously there wasn't. Oops. And this is actually, this is a weird, oh dear. That shouldn't be auto full stop. But the solution, I'm gonna probably have to manually fix these. There's no easy solution. That has to be a colon. That can be fixed. All right, so that's silly. That's a colon generator. Most of them I bet most of them are going to be. Yeah, so they should have colons. They should get colons, and that is an automatic style thing, where it's not correctly, for some reason. That's also weird, but that I can fix in the styles. I just want to check something. The definition conv. The nice thing is I can apply the style and just run the diff check again, because these are smart styles. So it's actually really cool. So we got a smart style that says something like, I don't know where it comes from actually. Where is this? Example styling helper, right? But it already checks, that's why I'm a bit confused. If it checks, oh, this could be why. So it automatically generates a full stop unless the thing ends with, but I fixed this, man, I added more. I could swear I fixed this. I could swear I extended this to check a whole lot more cases. Where's my fix? I extended this. I still remember, I definitely extended this. I did it in a stream. I even remember I was streaming. I wonder if somebody else somehow, I wonder what happened here. I made a whole lot of changes here to check things like colon, and I even added ellipsis. I remember adding ellipsis because I remember I had to work around the UTF-8. This is UTF-8 in Lua, and I had to do an extra special thing for the ellipsis check. I will have backups. I'll have to dig through my backups to find it. But I don't know when I did it. When would I have done it? Probably feels like about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. TLex backups. Yeah. But how did it get undone? It must not have saved properly, or I did it locally only or something. I don't know. And I forgot to put it on the server. I don't know. Alright, but for now, I'm gonna fix that now. This has to be basically just changed. I have to add a few more cases here. Full stop, comma, colon. So we don't want to generate I think that this is slightly faster, but color. There's a few others like ellipsis that I did already. Somehow that change disappeared. Let me check it's not in one of them. Crazy, how can I not find it, man? I must have a backup, but I don't know, it's going to be tricky to find. Alright, I've now made a change to the style rules, and I must be careful now, because if I make a change to the style rules, it could also affect, let's do all with diffs again, it takes a little while. It could affect other entries inadvertently. There should be less than 303, but not 0. There might be 10 or 20 or 30. And those will have to be manually fixed because those are actually problems that are wrong in the data. Because definitions are supposed to get an automatic full stop. And yeah, 57, okay, that's better, but still unpleasant, but like that's fine, that's a correction, so we can just ignore that. And this, gosh, should just be added to the auto styles really then. Okay, that character, I don't know what it is, I'll check now. Next plus diffs, so ellipsis, that's actually, that needs to be fixed in the data. I'm going to have to work through these one by one, 57 of them, it won't take long. Like that's a correction, it's fine, it's good, it can stay. That must become a colon. That's an error in the data. It ends with full stop space. That I can probably search for. When. After doing this, basically. There's only one though. Okay, wait, what was that? X plus diffs. I'm using this new differences feature as well all the time. So that semicolon full stop is also wrong. It should not. What was the other one? I just want to check what character this is, if I need to do it with UTF-8. Character information tool, or if it's a EM dash. EM dash shouldn't really be at the end of a definition, but UTF-8 stuff has to be done in a little special weird way. So next plus stuff, I'm on the, but this is actually good. I'm happy with this. I'm happy to start running the script. It's good enough for me to start running the script. These few 57 cases I can sort out afterwards. That's an error in the data. You know, I mean, half of them are improvements. Mine errors in the data. Styling stuff. That's an improvement. That's a style fix I'll fix in a second. But just, yeah, by adding this. Yeah, I'm ready to start running this. I'm gonna take a shower while it runs because it's probably gonna take, it's got 14,500. I don't know how long that's gonna take. In 9,000 entries, it could take 20 minutes. I don't know. All right. I just want to change the style again. But I'm a bit pissed because I did this already, and now I have to redo it because there's cases like ellipsis. I must dig through the backups and just see if I can see I've been here though, because there's already some of my changes. I wonder where. Okay, I just want to make that style change on the live database. And then before I start the script, I'm going to do an extra cross check. So I'm going to do a triple cross check because I'm doing two changes, a style change and I need to be able to separate which differences are because of my script or because of the style change. Now I've already made the change. Now I'm gonna have to run both cross checks off the backup, basically off the two backups. Okay. So I've made a change to the styling rules, and that could affect other entries. So I need to double check what entries may have been affected. So I'm going to create a backup again. The reason I'm creating a backup to do that is because the export to do the cross check takes long. Okay. So I want to open both. So that's the latest backup, which is right now. That's after the style change, and that's before the style change. So both these backups, I want to do exports. It's 440 MB TLex file. That's quite okay. So So this backup, we're going to create an instance, export the snapshot. Let's call it Crosscheck 1 base. Before any changes. This one, we're going to export Crosscheck 2 style change only, base plus style change. There may be small there may be small differences actually, but in theory they should be only corrections, like a colon full stop may be becoming just a colon because they're not supposed to be. Right, and then on this side we're going to run the actual DEM script now, I think, on the database. Find nodes of this type matching parser. There's our 9,000 and 9,500. Okay, and let's, oops, not tag range, clear all tags. Tag all, okay. Tag 9,000. It's also got all the information here on the matching rules. Insert parent. Okay, so we're going to run the actions on just one entry to start with, just to see what it does and check it works. And yes, wonderful. Look, it's tagged. Look in the tree view here. It's taken just a thumb text node and it's marked it up as a definition, or our interim element definition conv. That's to show differences. They're identical, so we can save the change. That is stunning. There should only be 3 definition convs, and I just want to make sure that's true, because otherwise I'm really losing my sanity. 3 definition convs, because this is a new thing. But soon there will be thousands and thousands, because I'm going to run lots and lots of these scripts. There should be about 90,000 of them eventually. Okay. Right, so let's run them on the 9. So while these things are doing the exporting, that's quicker than I thought. 600 entries per second exporting. While these things are exporting, I'm a bit nervous to actually do this. Let's do it. I've got backups. You know how many backups I have? Backups upon backups. So let's just do it. Now I'm running the actual thing. So I'm going to take a break, I think, from the stream, because this is really, very cool stuff. It's 1 hour. Okay, right, stop. Be back later. I need to take a break. Thank you for watching. Right.